We're introduced to our protagonist, the Duke, being a kid cursed to kill anything he touches. Life has never been more miserable. Just as we're feeling sorry for the boy, we're introduced to Alice. Being the only one by his side for now, the show just catches us off guard with the girl pulling all sorts of unpredictable moves out of nowhere. Philip comes to visit the Duke and leaves momentarily, pitying and feeling sorry for our main character. The Duke expresses his misery to Alice, but what she says just blows everyone's mind. We finally get to meet the butler. Without a doubt, Rob is one of the best butlers any show has seen to date. Being able to perform his daily duties at a superhuman speed, voila! The Duke's sister pays him a visit and, after having some sweets and tea, shows us a side to her that none of us could have expected. The Duke comes across a cat who's abandoned just like him, and that makes him remember the hard times he's been through. Just as he's staring at the moon that night, he recalls the memory of his grandfather and Alice's mother dancing in that room, and the two have a dance without touching each other. The Duke and Alice decide to play a pool game and agree on making the loser do whatever the winner wants. As a result of some unforeseen circumstances, the Duke ends up losing. The winner, Alice, wants him to accompany her to the town the very next day. With the plague doctor's costume and a ton of steel covering him, it seems that the Duke is safe. But when it comes to getting lost, no one's out of harm's way, that's for sure. Showing the world his piano skills, taking the square by storm, Alice finally finds the Duke and the two look around a bit before returning home. Unable to sleep well, the Duke goes to Alice and the two go to see the meteor shower at the lake the very next day. With Alice avoiding the Duke for some reason, he isn't the only one trying to figure out what went wrong. Finally, considering the possibility of it being a cold, the Duke looks after a sick Alice thanks to her peeping into his room last night. Alice then gifts the Duke a scarf that she made herself. The two go out with everything covered in snow, and Rob joins in as well. After everyone's tired of playing with the snow all day, a bat comes and melts the snow to save the tired, collapsed Duke. The bat turns out to be a masked witch named Cuff, and the Duke tries to ask her about his curse, but no dice. She tells the two about witches in general, and just when we're going to get the good stuff, her bat form shows up and flies away. Lady Voila is here again, with Rob in the house and the Duke being the wingman. Voila and Rob cook together while Rob shows us his baking skills. After watching Viola act cute with the entire while, it's finally time for her to go with Rob's bread, serving as the perfect souvenir. Just as Alice is making us see her ice skating, a crow starts talking to the Duke, and that sort of gives us a hint as to what's exactly going on. Inquired about it, this is the guy that Cuff mentioned earlier. Seeing him constantly hitting on Alice, the Duke has to take matters into his own hands, and the ice skating class are underway for both parties. While leaving, Cuff and Zane inform the Duke that on the next red moon, they will take him to the Witch's Sabbath, and there he can carry out his investigation. Later on, when the mischievous cat is back at it again, the Duke helps Alice and makes sure she gets a proper shower at the end of the day. The two leave for that Witch's Sabbath the next day, with Zane and Cuff using robes to disguise their human odor. After the leader witch marking the attendance, she has a chat with the two lovebirds, and recognizing the Duke raises a lot of questions, not just for the boy alone. She tells her about how the one behind the curse has died and there's no way to undo the curse, burning his robe and making the other witches chase the two with all their might, but they manage to escape. Trying to come up with new things to break the curse, Alice has been walking around a weird-looking pot, but when Alice whispers some words to it, we see its true colors and something unexpected does pop up. The love potion is ready, and with it, having lizard legs and cat fur as ingredients, it's only natural that the Duke can't handle it. The Duke stumbles upon a piano piece that, if performed perfectly, would break his curse. But that curse ends up being McFarlane himself, and with another one of these solutions out the window, the Duke ends up in the library with Alice after breaking the flower pot, and in the dream world, the two can touch each other all they want and end up having the perfect first date anyone could ask for, while totally forgetting about the rabbit. This time around, we have Cuff learning ABC while showing us the worst handwriting any show has seen. Lady Viola comes to visit, and her first encounter with Cuff turns out to be quite the opposite of what we imagined to be. The Duke and Alice play chess while the memories come rolling in, showing us how the Duke wasn't the same in the past. Hating his childhood since it reminded him of his life turning into a living hell, it's only natural that he didn't want to meet anyone. But with a lot of love and affection, any heart can come to know the beauty that this world has to offer yet one more time. The Duke and Alice are having a romantic conversation when Cuff and Zane crash the place and start making everything drown in the festivity. From setting up the Christmas tree to getting all the decorations sorted done, we get to see Lady Viola, who's on her way to spend the Christmas with her brother. But Valter, with his second-born complex, disguises himself as the driver of the carriage and makes it to the villa in the most Santa way there is out there, agreeing upon being the replacement based on the results of their solution to the curse quest. The duel is on between the two brothers. After the Christmas dinner, everyone's on their way home and the Duke and Alice all have time in the world for themselves. With neither Viola or Valter showing up at the table, the mother is really starting to suspect them. Cuff finally goes out shopping with Zane not by her side now. Going all the way back to the barter way of buying things just might not be the best idea out there. We also get to see Alice's backstory, how she has had a hard time because of her aunt, but when Rob finally came to take her for the Duke upbringing, she bowed to her and was on her way to the villa. After a long conversation, the Duke shows us his piano skills yet again, while this time Alice is there to sing us a song using her melodious voice. After a bit of searching, the characters finally get their hands on a logbook that contains a list of servants that have worked for the family. With the logbook containing a record of 2 witches in white robes having visited the mansion, no wonder Alice is suspicious. Meanwhile, on the other hand, Zane gets ordered by Duluth to burn the logbook or else he won't be able to see Cuff ever again. Zane is able to get the logbook, but just when he's about to burn it to a crisp, the Duke sees him. The two have a conversation. The Duke is fine with him burning the logbook as long as he gets it to Cuff out of harm's way. But Zane has an alternate solution in mind and puts his magic to the best use. Later on, a lot of questions pop up as we see Delith talking to Sharon, who is in a casket this time around. The Duke is invited to the mansion to have a talk with his mother. He decides to take Alice with him, and upon reaching there, the Duke finally meets his mother after a long time. At the dinner table, the Duke declares her love for Alice to his mother, to which she disapproves that very instant. But hearing that, the Duke shows that he isn't going to get cold feet at all, and that their love is the purest one out there without a doubt. Now, back at the mansion, we come to know that the Duke has gotten a time limit to undo the curse because otherwise, Valter will end up inheriting the family title. The show comes to an end, making us await the sequel.